what I want to summarize is the following. The CCP, right? They infiltrate into America in all different formats, but the most vicious one actually is through media. Okay, the media, the Chinese language media, that right now oversee, let's say in Flushing, in New York, in San Francisco, in Seattle, Washington, if they receive money from the Chinese Communist Party controlled Chinese government, they basically turn into tools in America to brainwash the overseas Chinese immigrants. And when these overseas Chinese immigrants are brainwashed by this Chinese language media, the American government, American people have no idea what's really going on in their neighborhood. In every household, the CCP hate propaganda, CCP ideology are being broadcasted to overseas Chinese immigrants. Okay, and that basically are turning a lot of people in America, as long as they are from communist China, and as long as they still love their family members inside of communist China, they basically are kidnapped. Okay, the American citizens of Chinese origin, they're all kidnapped by the CCP media, extended into America and brainwashed and turned into CCP's transnational repression tools. Okay, so when that happens, the American legal field, the rule of laws, actually are not ready to handle cases like that. And so when the American government official also are receiving the CCP controlled Chinese government's favors, and that American elected official himself view himself as a Chinese origin, love China, want to glorify his ancestor. So when he even become a governor of Washington State, Mr. Gary Locke is such a case. He still, in his heart, wholeheartedly want to serve the interests of China, Chinese people, and mistakenly, he equaled the China and Chinese people to the Chinese Communist Party controlled the Chinese government. So his love for China, his love for his ancestor in China, his dream want to glorify his ancestor, made him, into a CCP tool for transnational repression. This is a very, very serious problem. Okay, now the American, leaders, the American, mainstream people like Dr. Jerry Nippon, he wholeheartedly wants to do something good for helping the American people. However, he views that his number one priority is to gain, profit and fame and superficial success. So he viewed money as number one priority. So when Gary Locke basically ordered him to shut down Dr. Tong Wen-Wang's research laboratory, because Dr. Tong Wen-Wang chose to make a stand for the persecuted Falun Dafa practitioners and investigated into the truth of Falun Dafa, this ancient practice of mind, body, and spirit, and decided that this is a really great practice. It's beneficial to the entire mankind, and it probably is the hope of salvation for mankind. So Dr. Tong Wen-Wang decided to, make a stand and want to use the most frontier modern life science research, technology, methods, approaches to be able to investigate into the truth of whether Falun Dafa is really an ancient science of mind, body, and spirit that can save more than people. And that very fundamental right basically was subjected to CCP's transnational repression, and it went through the governor of Washington State, and then went through the top leader of the current cancer immunology research field, Dr. Jerry Nippon. And Dr. Wang also was a affiliated assistant professor at University of Washington Department of Immunology, which also directly then involved the entire University of Washington. So the CCP basically control the governor and target the Banora Research Institute, target University of Washington, and start to do transnational repression, leading to the most very, very, cutting edge, paradigm shifting, critically important research project to be shut down. And then the CCP government start to target Dr. Teng Wenwang's family. And leading to Dr. Teng Wenwang's elder parents be, first target of threat, harassment, and made Dr. Teng Wenwang's mother almost had a heart attack. And because Dr. Teng Wenwang's mother and the father both, were dedicated CCP party members, so ultimately they basically followed the CCP's instruction. Because when you become a CCP party member, you vow your life to serve the cause of the communist ideology, communist mission. And so Dr. Teng Wenwang's both parents immediately was turning into CCP tools. They were sent by the Chinese government to enter Dr. Teng Wenwang's Seattle home, located at 2643 38th Avenue West, Seattle, Washington 98199. And for 2 years, they had the mission to transform Dr. Teng Wenwang secretly, blocking her to interact with the local Falun Dafa practitioners, preventing her to participate in the local Falun Dafa practitioners' activity. Every time when Dr. Teng Wenwang was ready to participate in a local Falun Dafa practitioners' truth clarification event, the parents would make a lot of delicious Chinese food and told Dr. Teng Wenwang, "We are old parents. We come here to see you. Can't you just give us more time?" On the surface, it's all about Dr. Wang need to be filial and to serve, the parents because they are elder, and Dr. Wang need to listen to the parents and stop going out to participate in the Falun Dafa practitioners' team effort to clarify the truth. Day in and day out, they also use the kindness, the friendliness of the Falun Dafa practitioners, the goodness of Falun Dafa practitioners' heart, to secretly tell them lies and defame Dr. Teng Wenwang, and claim that Dr. Teng Wenwang no longer practice Falun Gong. And they put the anti-depression medicine, anti-manic lithium-based medicine into Dr. Wang's milk, Dr. Wang's food, and force her to be labeled as a manic depression patient, while the doctor, Peter Manos, in Virginia Mason Research Medical Center, initially, based upon Dr. Wang's unable to sleep and even had on the surface, a suicidal attempt, labeled her to be having severe depression. And then when Dr. Wang showed that she had absolutely no depression signs, always very actively doing work, then Dr. Peter Manos immediately turned the diagnosis into manic depression. And then the third visit, Dr. Peter Manos changed the diagnosis again into some kind of strange liver problems that required hospitalization, a whole scale of blood work, and consider that it's probably some kind of strange liver disease. So you can see that the modern medicine, the blind man, in face of this kind of problems, had absolutely no clue. Okay, so Dr. Wang's experience when she make a stand for the, persecuted Falun Dafa practitioners and start to encounter these different levels of blind men in this country, in America. American people always kind, love China, love Chinese food, love Chinese people, and they also cannot separate the Chinese people, China, from the CCP, the devil, and the CCP control the Chinese government. Basically, this is very, very dangerous problem right now facing the entire nation of America, and every American people are endangered because of not knowing the truth and not knowing how to separate CCP from China, how to separate CCP from the Chinese Communist, Chinese government, right? How to separate CCP from the wonderful Chinese people, and how to help those, already kidnapped, enslaved Chinese people who already become Chinese Communist Party members to be set free and embark onto the journey of exodus. I view this as the number one priority at this point for America and for American people. And American government gradually recognize that, they call China to be the threat, the competitors. That's so wrong. That's so wrong. Politicians at this point don't know the truth, and they fight with each other. The Republican Party and the Democratic Party theoretically should be all serving American people and hold hands to say no to the devil, CCP. But right now, the two parties fight with each other, put down each other, and in the same time, don't recognize the true evil nature of CCP, and mixed up CCP with China, mixed up CCP with Chinese Chinese government, mix up CCP with Chinese people, and cannot differentiate those people who are serving CCP and turning into cancerous, and those people who are making a stand to the most important, truth in this world right now, and the law of the universe, and the messengers of our Creator. This is all incredibly important subject that I really want to educate the general public through the Whole Elephant Institute platform. So today I'm here standing at this corner, facing west and looking at the sunlight. Remembering in University of Washington, every afternoon, I try to go to meet the founding father of this nation, the spirit of our founding father, this nation, President George Washington, because in University of Washington, there is a President George Washington statue, and that statue is facing west, directly into the sunlight. And every day, President George Washington looking at the setting of the sun, and the red square of the University of Washington, the entire square turning into bright, at this sunset time, it's golden color. And it was so sacred, and reminding me that, the Washington state actually is a gate of our nation, and the CCP controlled even the governor of our gate and penetrated into America through Washington state. The governor hold hands with the CCP, not with the Chinese people, not with the true, the Chinese government right now is also kidnapped by the CCP, the devil. So the Washington state governor, under the good name of, doing business with China, actually served as the CCP's tool, become an accomplice of CCP, the devil, and invited the devil into entire America and allowed the CCP virus to enter America. And that's the reason the first case of the, CCP virus caused Wuhan pneumonia, manifested in exactly King County, Washington state. That's where Dr. Tongwen Wang, Dr. Tongwen Wang's home is located. And Dr. Tongwen Wang was subjected to the persecution by the CCP's transnational repression. And the persecutor actually turned into, basically, the persecutors are the governor, and sadly, the Binary Research Institute, University of Washington, they were the target of the persecution, but they all turned into tools. And then Dr. Tongwen Wang's mother, father, brother, husband, Alan Genitosio, all turned into CCP tools, and basically made Dr. Wang in New York homeless. Okay, that was the beginning of the Whole Elephant Institute, and I need to really report this to the general public. And after 18 years in New York, clarify the truth, help the people to be awakened, and finally, build a family here. This new family, the Fujianese family. again, the CCP, through the global, plague of CCP virus and Wuhan pneumonia, now delivering hate into this beautiful family and try to destroy this family. And are we going to say yes? Is the judge is going to allow this beautiful family to kick out? Right now, it's not Dr. Tang Wang, but actually the whole Elephant Institute. So this is really a very urgent time, and I call upon the awakening of our community members, our entire city, our entire state in New York, to use this as a very important reference of truth, and also understand that what's happening here in the whole Elephant Institute, hosting home, is going to happen in every household if we are not ready.